Hi, my name is Maria Lopez, and this is Dare to Heal. And what Dare to Heal is essentially what I've learned on what's been a 20-year journey of trying to heal something I didn't even know I had. And hopefully I can give you the tools to avoid all the kind of dead ends and all the kind of places that you don't want to get stuck in if you're in this journey. I mean, inevitably it'll be what it needs to be, but I think I can give you some information that will make it easier and hopefully quicker than 20 years. So I'm going to lay out the 3 different pieces of it. For me, it was crisis, meditation, and ayahuasca. And I will talk about those in more depth later on. But I just want to start by saying, because this is kind of an introduction, that, you know, the arrival to this planet, to this place, is treacherous. You're young, you're helpless, you're vulnerable, you have no power, and you are born to strangers, really. I mean, ultimately, yes, they're your parents, but they have all their own unresolved issues, their own shit, so to speak, that they are also carrying with them that, you know, can then be passed on to you, and literally physically. As the Jesuits said, you know, if you give me a kid from 0 to 7, I will give you a Jesuit for life. And what they knew and what they understood was that we are coded. We arrive and we're like a blank slate. And there are 2 options. One option is the universe is infinite potential, and I'm going to love you, and I'm going to attend to you, and I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to water whichever way you're growing, and then the world is full of potential, and you can, you know, take it to the limit. You can, you know, fly basically. And then there's the very restricted, limited conditioning of people who are scared, angry, fearful, and who basically build a paddock around you. And we're coded. It's very powerful software. Once it's set, they said from 0 to 7, you know, that's it. Reality is that universe. It's that kingdom or paddock. So it's either an open road where, like, you can constantly grow and there's no fear, a little bit, but really not really, because you have so much power within. You've been given so much power by being accepted and acknowledged and loved. Or there's fear, and there's terror, and there's limitation, and I can't, and I won't, and I'm not capable, and it's this constant kind of restraint, like having blinkers on a horse. You're not gonna move forward. You're gonna go around that paddock over and over. And the people may look different, but they're the same people you grew up with over and over. Now, we kind of basically know this, but for me, what's been so incredible is that I never knew anything about myself. So if something happens to you when you're younger, when you're little, when you're in that vulnerable, exposed, helpless place, you have to survive. You have to survive or die. But evolution is gonna push you to survive. So whatever happens in that early arrival state, you're either gonna lock down and basically, you know, stick in a room, or like when the in-laws come, you know, triage, stick it under a bed and pretend it didn't happen, or disassociate, or basically disappear from that situation. It is too overwhelming for little children to take the weight of the shit that adults put on us. It's just too little. Our brains can't function. So what do? We put it away. And so I don't believe in holy men or holy books or shit, holy anything. There's no one with a funny outfit that's going to tell me who I am. You can't. You have to go into that place on your own. It's your jungle that you have to cut down to get to the scene of the crime, the place where your power was cut off. Now, I've been here, I've been to this path, on this path, and I've been through that jungle with the great help of meditation and ayahuasca, which I'm going to talk about in later series. But there is no psychiatrist, there is no medication, there is no funny man with an outfit, there is nothing that can take you there. You have to go in there. It's an inward journey. Freedom is not about, you know, a tattoo that I put across my chest or a $5 million Prada bag. It's not freedom. Freedom is the ability to return and dismantle. It's like a bird's nest. It's like this whole machine that you've built to survive. But remember, you built it in reference to the tiny environment you grew up in. So if you had an angry father, an infantilized mother, you're going to build something around that. You're like a vine around a trellis. Okay, you're going to build the thing that you lived or were born in reference to. And that's where the limitation is. Because if they're limited and they have all their shit, that's what you're going to grow your whole being around. The path begins, I said for me, it usually starts with a crisis. And that crisis is the beginning of dismantling. I call it the robot. The you, the armor built has basically a survival mechanism to deal with untenable situations for a child. The great miracle, and it doesn't just happen, or perhaps it might, if you're, I don't know, is the tearing down of that armor and the arrival to the little child that's shut down. And it may seem very simple, oh, the inner child. Nah. We are very, the technology that keeps us alive is very sophisticated. It's very complex. And it's full of connections of emotions and numbing that we have to dive into and understand and see. And this is a journey. And again, I don't believe in knowledge. I mean, I didn't, books, people tell you, this is what I'm going to talk about is my experience. And everybody has different experiences. You don't have to believe mine. But I'm going to tell you from my experience, not from a book, not from a funny guru, not from, but actually from actually going inward and actually revisiting the place where my little girl decided, I've got to get out of here. And I'm sure all of us, but everybody has had that moment when it's like, this is unbearable. Now, who created that robot, that person that had to survive? My experience says, I was built in some other dimension. You might think I'm insane, and that's okay. But from the ayahuasca and from being in kind of ceremony almost every day, not drinking it, but actually sitting and it kind of just coming up, there's a mission. When you are hurt in any way, when you're trampled on or stampeded on or in any way affected, that child is running the show. Your task is to get back to her and get her to believe that it's okay, that she can let go of running the show, that you can finally grow up and integrate all of your children. So I'm going to start with the first topic, which is meditation and how I got to meditation, and then move on to the ayahuasca. I really want this to help you, and to help you on your path, on your journey. If you're feeling bad, if you're feeling upset, if you just don't, like the world isn't working for you, like in the same bad relationships, you're doing, just repeating the same paddock crawl, I'd say, right? It's not, oh, just leave, just be free. No, 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 this thing is incredibly sophisticated. This machinery that we are, this technology that makes us us, it's not gonna wanna let go. So you have got to figure out a way to get in. It's like Harry Potter. You've got to get in to that dungeon, and you've got to convince your kid to stop protecting the predator or the one that hurt you. It's an incredible ride.